election.
Yeah. That's what I thought. It's fantastic. It's amazing. Of Old Spice products.
I'll tell you first that this interview is proudly sponsored in part by Old Spice, makers of fine deodorants, body wash, and body spray. Old Spice uses its unique 8-hour technology to give you the scent of confidence. Look for Old Spice wherever you buy personal hygiene products. Old Spice, the scent of confidence. Hashtag Old Spice. So, last time we talked to you, you were a part of Runo Remock, the hit band that was coming out with music all over the place, and that was some time ago. I almost said formerly of Runo Remock. Is that the case? Is this your solo work? Is this a temporary new endeavor?
Temporary new endeavor, I would say.
And what is the status of Runo Remock right now?
Well, I really can't say. Working on some things, but nothing definite at the moment. More like whispers than speaking.
What led to this decision to come out with a solo work?
Because I'm addicted to getting plays and attention. That's it. I can't wait for things like that. I love it. I love when you see you get 30 plays in a day or something like that. I love it. That's my crack.
So, where can fans, or if they want to search and find, where can they find your music?
If they want to listen to it, they can go on YouTube, they can go on SoundCloud, they can go on Twitter. You'll probably find it if you follow me. If you want to buy it, you can go on iTunes, Amazon, anywhere you want to buy music. You'll be able to find it. Just search my name and you'll find it, because nothing else comes up besides my name. If you want to listen to Django, Spotify, whatever, it's on there too.
Pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
How is last time, a couple times now we've talked about Runo Remock and working as a group, and how is working as a solo artist different than working in a group like that, and which do you prefer?
It's a lot faster. It's pretty much up to me when it's going to be done, as opposed to sending it to people. And if they say, oh, I don't like this part, I don't like that part, then you got to change it. The good thing about it is you'll probably get a better product collaborating with a bunch of different people, rather than just you saying that it's okay when it's done.
Well, why don't you tell us about your songwriting process? Where do you get your inspiration for your songs? You just walking along and you happen to think of something, or?
Yes, that's pretty much it. No, I pretty much construct them like I'm building Legos. Because with electronic music, it's not like you're pretty much putting blocks together in different ways. You're pretty much building your little Lego house or your Lego spaceship, and then once you get it done, you fly it around for a little bit. If you like it and think, oh, that's a cool toy I made for myself, then you add to it or you keep it the way it is.
Irving Tatanka with this new EP, What Are You Talking About? And there are 5 tracks on there. We'll go through each one quickly. Just tell us what the idea is behind the title and the song, what it's about. The first one, Catty Cats.
Catty Cats. That sounds nothing like this. What is it about is if we use Twitter, you know, me and you both use Twitter, we
right.
like Twitter. If you look at Katy Perry, and then she uses Twitter a lot. She's like with 35 bazillion fans or something like that. But then when she'll post something on Twitter, I follow her, I don't know if you do, you'll see like,
Who?
Katy Perry. You know what that is? You ever heard of that?
I think so.
Okay. She'll post something on Twitter and it's like 2 tweets would be positive, 10 would be negative. And it'd be like, you suck, I hate your face, you are awful. And then like, you might see one positive, I really love this. Then another 10, then I like awful. So it's like in the song I try to do a thing. You, it's nice for a minute, and it's telling you like, oh, this is a nice song. It's very pleasant. And then it will switch in a second to be like, I hate your ears. I want to kill you. There's pretty much the dichotomy of people that because their fans are called Katie Cats. So I switched to Cat Cats.
I get it.
So it's like they hate her one second and shit it's all with Twitter fans like that, they're young, so it's like you don't know if they're gonna like you one day or like you the next. It's pretty much like just a schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder type thing.
So now I've listened to this music quite a bit, but if someone's watching this interview that hasn't listened to your solo work yet, but are big fans of Bruno Remark, is this music similar to that?
Not really. It's slowed down. A lot slowed down. It's different than what it is. Catty Cats, that's my favorite song. That's my favorite. I enjoy it.
Well, the next one, these are, I don't know if when you said you put that first because it's your favorite, so I was going to say, I don't know if these are in any particular order. The next one on my list is Area 69. Tell us about that one.
That one is the gray aliens. You know how people would always just talk about the gray aliens. Area 51. The gray aliens you know about with the big heads and the black eyes and their little tiny bodies. You know,
the ones that have been in Velcro.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah.
People used to say they're aliens, and then they switched to a thing like they're time travelers. That's what humans look like in the past. Now it's they're extra dimensional beings. So this song is from the point of view of an extra dimensional being who fell in love with a Earthling, with some hot girl, whoever. And then he's trying to talk to her, but she's from a different dimension than he is. He can travel between dimensions, and he knows what dimension is which. She doesn't. She's
more
stuck
limited.
in one dimension. Yeah. So he's trying to communicate with her, but she only considers it as like deja vu, dreams, things like that. So it's like, why can't she understand him trying to profess his love to her? But it's like he doesn't understand because he's never been human. He doesn't even know what it's like to not know what that there's other dimensions.
I can see that would be a problem.
Yeah. So that it's a love song from an alien, from an extra dimension.
Heartwarming.
Yeah.
The next one, The Next Yes.
That's pretty much where like you're trying to fuck girls. So it's like you go from one and you ask them, can I fuck you? And they say no. And then you go to the next one and they say no. And you go to another one and they say no. And then you go to one and they say yes. So that one said yes. And then you go to the next one that says no. So you're waiting for the next yes. That's what that song is about.
I see.
Nothing profound here. That's what that one's about.
Well, our next track, Seneca Funk. F-U-N-K.
Yep, Seneca Funk era. That's called. And that is, goes to my Xbox name, which is T-Funk era, which goes back to my teens, where everybody used to listen to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, which was, they used to call it the G-Funk era. So then I changed it around to be the T-Funk era. And then this song was different, but it's kind of in that same vein. So I called it the Seneca Funk era. And the reason I call it the Seneca Funk era is because I smoke Seneca cigarettes. So Seneca Funk.
And you're also known to support preserving Native American trees.
Yeah, I do. I do support. I'm part Native American, not by much, but enough to be concerned about things like that.
And the last, Blue Stripe.
Blue Stripe Smoke is what that's called. And what that is from, if you run small engines, one thing you never want to see coming out of a small engine, if something's going wrong, is blue smoke coming out of it. So I thought, what if it's blue smoke and then that's something bad, and if it was Blue Stripe Smoke, then that's even worse. Because that song sounds like an engine to me, because it's like a techno house type song, which kind of has a driving engine to it. So it's like that's it. It sounds like an engine to me, musical engine.
So that
it's
whereas
breaking down.
Whereas some songs you might think of a concept or topic and then write a song about it, this sounds like an instrumental that you made and then put a name to it based on the sound.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we did a Bruno remix to this. There's the original version, which is just Blue Stripe Smoke, and there's the Bruno remix version that we collaborated on, and it's a little harder, harsher than the original version. But I like the remix better than the original.
Well, you already said which one is your favorite Caddy Cats, and people probably usually don't get asked this interview too often. People who want to be honest and open here with the fans. Most people nowadays don't have a real long attention span, as you know. Most people probably stopped listening to this interview by now. Mm-hmm. So, if someone doesn't have the time to listen to all 5, and maybe they only have time for 4, not to say there's one you don't like, but which one would you maybe drop?
Drop out? Out of the 6?
5?
6?
6.
Which one would I drop out? And I'll tell everyone to listen to get over it and to listen to all of it.
Well, say their house was on fire when they got done with
and they had to run out of the house?
Or when they only had time for 5.
The one I think that most people will like, that I've seen that most people will like, is the Caddy Cats one. If you like that one, then you'll like kind of my, because I do have a sound, so if you like that one, you'll probably like the rest of it. So if you wanted to enter into it, you'll like that one the best.
Well, maybe Blue Stripe, they already heard that one, so if their house was on fire, then they could leave them.
That one's more of a genre type. That one doesn't have mass appeal because it's a certain type of music that not everyone will get into because they'll be like, this is too repetitive. But the Caddy Cats one has the pop formula to it, even though it's nothing like pop music.
That's what I said.
It's the most ear-pleasing to people that either don't listen to the underground music or don't listen to music that's not mainstream. That one's the most mainstream one, maybe. I would say.
So your new EP, what are you Tatankin about? It's available online. People can purchase it. How much would that cost a person, and how are sales going so far?
I've sold 0.0. That made you drop your papers. 0.0. But, and I'll tell you why I've sold 0.0.
There's room for improvement, though.
Yeah. No. I didn't expect it to sell any, really. It's for $6.99, right? But you can go on YouTube, and as soon as you go on YouTube, if you want to search it, and you'll find it, you can play it within 2 seconds. If you buy the MP3, right, you got to go to whatever website, iTunes or Amazon or something like this. You buy it, then you have to download it, then you have to do their download procedure or something of that nature. Then you get it onto your computer, and then you want to play the MP3. Then you got to go through a music player or something like that. It's easier for the general public, because I found myself guilty of this. It's just to go on YouTube and just play it when I want to hear it.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Who buys music anymore?
it's a shame, but they've made it so hard in any type of, you know, way to do it. I mean, it's harder to buy an MP3 and then play it than it is just to go to YouTube and then play it that way. And even there's websites where you can go on YouTube and be like, I want to download this YouTube video as an MP3. You know, I know that not too much in the United States, but in the rest of the world, it's totally, you could do that. You go to this website, put in the YouTube link, and be like, okay, I'm going to download this and make an MP3 from the video. But I'm not planning on getting rich from doing this, so I just wanted my music to spread, so whoever wants to listen to it, do whatever you want with it, by all means.
You care more about the music than the money.
Yeah, they're not going to make it. Nobody's going to make it. There's so many people making music now, nobody's going to make any money off of it. You just make fun out of it. And that's what I want to do. I like fun, that somebody will listen to it. It's worth more to me that somebody listens to it and likes it than it is for them to buy it. You know what I mean?
So,
all I want to do is just be like that. Yeah, I enjoy that. I made this. Because my investment is nothing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I invested nothing.
Just time.
Yeah, time to do it, but I enjoy doing the time. So then it's like the time that I took to make it is priceless compared if somebody says like, oh, I like this. That's all I want. Is if somebody likes it, that's all I'm going for.
So we seem to be well past the days of people ordering, you know, if this was 15, even 10 years ago, you might be trying to produce a CD. And
Yeah,
then
the only way
would,
they'd be able to hear it is from a CD.
somebody would order it, it would have to be shipped. Now you yourself personally have almost completely cut the postal system
It's a
out of your life. Tell us
cottage
about that.
industry. Yeah. No.
How do you get by without mail?
I think you messed. You hand me a beer out of the fridge. I think you messed up the postal system segue. I hate the mail. The mail is the worst thing ever because I don't. Thank you, sir. I don't pay attention to it because most of it is a waste that they could totally not involve me in it, but they still do it. So like I told you before, like I was bragging before, it's pretty much I just throw my mail in the trash. I don't read it because I want it to go away.
I see that.
Yeah, you can take some out if you want. It's if you want to rummage through there and see that that's true.
I can confirm that that's true.
But I mean, you used to be able to make more money making music because it would be like there's no way to get it to anybody unless they went and bought a CD.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now it's like you don't need CDs when you could just put it on YouTube. If you want to spread your music, just link to YouTube to tell somebody about it, and then they think about it, and then that's that.
No stamps needed.
No, I don't have to pay anybody for it. You have to pay to get it on, you know, people submit it to certain companies. That's about the only investment you gotta make. And that's not a big expense at all. It is available, that's what I mean. If you
Right.
wanna buy it and put it on your iPod and go running with it, that's cool.
Right. Not necessarily musically related, though it could be musically related, just a general question. What is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear? To not be remembered. Just die and never anybody knew about you. pretty much like the Greeks or the Romans. Like, I'd say that's it. To die without being remembered. Just die and nobody knew who you were.
Now you.
That's the only reason I do any of this, is to put a memory on the world. That's it. I'm not trying to make money about it. It's just to put my mark there in the world.
Right. Now I think you were talking about the stuff being available online. So getting back to...
I wanted to, I might do this, I'm not sure, but I don't know how much it costs, but make where you can buy vinyl albums of it. Because I read a thing the other day that the sale of vinyl albums is up like 200% of actual records. You know, people are really getting back into records. So I might have them do a couple, you know, do a pressing of records or whatever, 12-inch records with the album cover and everything. And I might just do it just to buy one, to have one of my own, so I can have it and just be like, this is the record I made. But a lot of people, they're up like 200% sales from 2003 or something like that. CD sales are going down like this, and record sales are going up.
You should have made
I like records.
They probably last longer, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a more tangible thing when you get this big fucking thing instead of just a little CD case.
Right.
And then if you, a lot of the bands, when they do it, they'll make a record, but then inside the record sleeve, they'll give you a little business card that has download. You can go to this website and download all the MP3s.
Well, hopefully before this is released, our graphics department can put up a graphic with a chart showing the difference between records and CDs.
No, you could probably do that. Get a hold of Earl.
Yep.
Get a hold of Earl down in the basement. He knows about it.
For many months, we've been promoting this interview, and there were some delays to when we were actually able to do it due to weather, but we've been promoting this interview on Twitter, both me and you, to your followers. We were trying to solicit actual questions for them to ask you to be read aloud on the interview.
Yes.
So we did that for a long time. We got 5 questions. 4 people, 5 questions.
Yep.
The first question is from one of your followers at Vespertilio. What do you think about social media?
I like it because back in the olden days, like if I was to be asked about my great-grandfather, I don't know anything about him. I only know little pieces of him that the government made him, you know, reveal about himself. Like when he came over on the boat, you know, what his profession was, what his age was when he came over on the boat. That's pretty much it. I know little stories about him that, you know, people that are dead now have told me. So now I have no clue about his existence, about his life at all. But he was an important person at the time. Used to work in New York City as a tugboat captain. It was a pretty prestigious job for the time. But now his history is lost. You know what I mean? Nobody will know about him, you know, in any type of way, except for what word of mouth was.
Or old census records. And
yeah, things like that. So now, when I'm living my life, I can sit there and go to Facebook and be like, oh, this is what I was doing at this time. This is what picture me at this time doing this bullshit. So a lot of people have, the creator of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has said that Facebook is the printing press, is an invention comparable to the printing press. And a lot of people will disagree and say, like, no, that's not. The printing press is spoken word throughout the earth, you know. This is pretty much a way for us to tell our ancestors about us. So, I mean, I think I agree with his statement in one way or another. Because, you know, if the world ends somewhere on a hard drive, there's going to be somebody's Facebook, you know, data on there, ones and zeros, who they're friends with, that somebody is going to be able to look back to and decipher and tell us about what it was like to be American, to be whatever at a certain point in time because of this code that we've invented.
If there's electricity, then
yeah, unless we're all living in caves. But even if it is sitting around, some way they'll reawaken and find it.
Really, if you think about it, I've often thought that the internet, and by extension social media, could be grouped right up there with some of mankind's greatest inventions, really, such as using fire, the wheel, airplanes, Velcro sneakers, and time machines, really. And my own follow-up question, we kind of already touched on it, but just a comment, really. Social media has really changed the music industry quite a bit, I imagine.
Yeah, because now you can communicate your music to all kinds of people that have never heard it before. Now they don't have to go to the record store. They can be bombarded with it from tweets and retweets constantly on a daily basis from myself and others. And people selling beats and whatnot.
The vegetables?
Yes, they refer to them as beats, like, hey, you want a beat?
Oh.
And then, a beat like, this is a little snippet of a song, and then, you can rap behind it. But I'm not, I can make my own beats. Not too much, it kind of bugs me when people want to sell me beats, because it's so easy to make beats. Like, everything I do is a beat. And I really want it. I'd rather buy someone's, like, here's my lyrics for a beat that you made, rather than the actual beat itself. If that makes sense.
Makes sense to me. One of your followers.
Let's say this beat is in 96 BPM. I've got a little rap right here in 96 BPM, and I just gotta make a beat to fit to his acapella. I'd rather buy acapellas than I would buy actual music. Because if I buy the music and then I just rap over it, I don't think that's not my style. It's not my scene.
At Gloria BB2 on Twitter asks, which side did you take in the New York Dolls Sex Pistols war?
I don't know too much about the Sex Pistols and the New York Dolls war. I know that the New York Dolls are American. The Sex Pistols were English. One thing I appreciate about the Sex Pistols is that they would get signed to like EMI Records, and then EMI Records would give them $25,000. Then they would do something so crazy and insane that EMI Records would drop them from the label, which pretty means it's like if you were working at McDonald's and you got fired.
Yeah.
But they still had to get the money. So they would give them like $25,000 to do that. And then they would say like, oh, yeah, that's cool. We got $25,000 for doing that. Let's go to a different label. And then because they were such a popular act, that another label in the UK, Capitol Records or whatever, it would be like, oh, we'll sign them. And then they would take $25,000 from them, and then do the same thing, and then get dropped from that label. And I just thought they weren't. I like that. That's cool about them, that they would do that, and not worry about like, oh, I have to think. It's like once the record label employs you, you're an employee of the record label, and like you have bosses that will tell you what to do. But they would be like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I appreciate that about them. And they still made a lot of money doing it, and they're still iconic for doing what they did.
Sounds like
Great band though. I like the Sex Pistols more than New York Dolls, so maybe I took the Sex Pistols.
right, but it sounds like you don't want to get too involved in that spat.
No, I'm afraid that there might be some backlash on Twitter.
Right.
From my position I'm taking, so I'm taking a neutral
Kind of like
position.
a politician.
Yeah.
You know.
Like Governor Christie.
Yep.
When he set up all the roadblocks, and I saw this barely on the news the other day.
I read
He
about
set up
that
the people. He set up roadblocks for people that were like
They didn't support his
vote
re-election.
for him. So what he did to get back at him was he set up roadblocks on their bridge, and somebody was trying to, her mom was on the ambulance and tried to get across the bridge, and her mom died. And how awful is that? That's such childish, like messing with the infrastructure, childish games like that. I think that's horrible. That's the position I'll take on that.
No.
Absolutely horrible.
She had a second question. This is probably the most important question of the entire interview, so take some time to think about your answer.
I will. I'll ponder this.
What is your favorite flavor of pudding?
Pudding flavors. I buy the cups, which everybody knows that. Anybody who's anybody knows that. I buy the cups. So I buy the cups that are chocolate down at the bottom. And then in the middle they got vanilla. And then at the top they got chocolate. Swiss Miss, that's the ones I buy. Because usually they're like 2 for $3 on sale at the store, because nobody who has any concept of their future would buy those. And that's what I buy and eat. I enjoy those.
That sounds also like another politically correct answer, because it's chocolate and vanilla mixed together.
I know,
You're a moderate, they would say. Oh.
That would make me a moderate, yeah.
At Casalina, this is her question, not mine. One says, all the ladies are dying to know, boxers or briefs?
I am a sex symbol, so I would. I'm excited to answer this. I do wear boxers because let's say you wanted to get up in the middle of the night and get a Gatorade out of your refrigerator. You can't do that if you have company over in a pair of briefs. But in a pair of boxers, you know, they just look like shorts. So you can do that. And then another reason is it's like briefs are like the communist underwear. It's like very oppressive, and they keep all your stuff in a knot. And even the boxer briefs still keep all your stuff in a knot. And the boxers are freedom. Freedom. So that's what I'm about. That's freedom.
Well,
so I wear boxers, ladies and gentlemen.
These are all at.
My penis is like William Wallace. Freedom.
Moving on. Now this is Twitter handle the kids are calling it.
Yep.
IIP freely and often. How has your friendship with me, meaning me, Milton Hogbeck, influenced your songwriting? And if you say not at all, that's fine. And in full disclosure, we are longtime friends.
Yes, we've known each other since we were 11, 12 years old. So everyone who knows me, anyone who interacts with me in any type of way, how I make music will affect that, without a doubt. Because a lot of times I got people in my head thinking, oh, will they like this? Will they not like this? That's usually when I do things. Or how I do things. So, I mean, you could say, like, oh, we make music just to please ourselves, and I'm just making it for myself or whatever, but I make it to entertain other people. So, you are always in mind, as long as anybody else that wants to pay attention.
I'm honored.
Yes, you should be.
Again, we're talking with Milton Hogbeck, Dutch West Indies, talking with Irving Tatanka with his new EP. Yes. What are you talking about?
That you can buy on iTunes or Amazon or wherever the fuck you want.
And this interview is brought to you in part by Old Spice, giving you the scent of confidence. Hashtag Old Spice.
Oldspice.com.
Basically anywhere on the internet where you can find music. Search Irving Tatanka on YouTube
on
or Google.
If you just Google my name, you'll find all my music on there.
Also, you can, again, follow him on Twitter at Irving Tatanka.
Yeah, you should do that.
You can follow
Because that's fun.
Dutch West Indies Company at Dutch West Indies.
Follow them as well.
And again, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Old Spice, the scent of confidence. Hashtag Old Spice. And thanks to our Twitter question people.
You will all be named in the Twitter and on YouTube and wherever else you want to be named.
And thank you for taking the time to sit down with me again.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And good luck with your work.
Yes. Thank you.